The next approach is a more standard way, and that is using a version inside the accept header. Let's see how that works. If we look at Fiddler, we'll go ahead and get rid of our version here. We can add an accept header, which you probably should in most cases, and tell it that we want to accept from it JSON. Of course, if we execute this, we'll get the first version. But what's not that clear is we can actually put in parameters to this, and we can just go ahead and put version 2 as a parameter of that accept header. Executing this isn't going to change it at all, but we're going to see that we can actually look at the accept header at runtime and determine what version they're asking for. So we come back to the controller selector and we'll repeat what we've been doing, which is commenting out one of the other approaches and create a new one. Get version from accept header version. And pass in that request again. We factor it to generate it, and we'll do all the real work down here. In this case, we're using a standard header, so let's go ahead and get the accept header by just asking the request for headers.accept. This header value is going to contain a collection of media type header values. So what we're going to want to do is just go through each of the media types, or MIME types, in the accept header. And what we're looking for is that the media type, which is just a string, is going to be application/JSON. Now, I'm making some assumptions here that we're only going to deal with JSON. You might need to make this a little bit more elaborate if you're going to work with XML as well. But assuming we found the right media type, because you can actually add more than one media type here. You could add for version 2 of the JSON, version 3 of the XML, and version 4 of, let's say, the RSS format. I can then get the version by asking MIME to look at parameters. Parameters is a collection of values. And because of that, we can just use a simple link query to find the parameter for version, if any. So let me go ahead and just show you what we're doing here. We're going to do a where the name of the parameter is version, and we're going to go ahead and compare it without case in case someone has decided to uppercase the word version. And we're just going to get the first one that is a version parameter. And we'll go ahead and return value.value. So the value itself is going to include the name of the parameter, which in this case is version, as well as the value, which is going to be whatever is after the equal sign. If we never find one, we'll go ahead and, as before, return 1. So back in Fiddler, as we execute this, we can see we're now getting the version based on the accept header version. If we change this to 1, or if we remove the version part of it entirely, we're still going to default back to 1. And this is a pretty straightforward way to include it as part of the accept header instead of introducing a whole new header. So this is something that should be very easy for most developers to use. Another approach that's similar to this is actually to use your own custom MIME type or media type inside that accept header. Let's talk about that next.